Self-improvement has gained a lot of popularity as of late, and it's a lifestyle that everybody wants to move to. And most of us want to improve ourselves because there's something that we don't like about ourselves. And although the media says you shouldn't feel this way, it's actually a really good thing that you finally came to this conclusion. And I'm actually very proud of you for coming to your senses and finally coming to a video like this so you can improve yourself. Now, with that being said, making change is quite difficult. With lots of self-improvement videos talking about so many different self-improvement topics, you can't really wrap your head around what you should do in order to change your life with the information that you have access to on the internet. Now, I understand that it could be a pain for you to actually do all of this research and yet still not have a good idea of what you need to do to improve. So that's why I decided to make this long guide for you. Our goal by the end of this guide is for you to have a clear direction of what habits you need to do in order to get onto self-improvement, followed by techniques and tools that you can use to make the process easier, all in the space of whatever device you're using. Before I even get into the habits that you need to do to get onto self-improvement, you first need to find out what the mindset is behind all of this. The mindset that we want to have following all of our practices, all of our work, all of our habits is progressive overloading. Now, you may already have an idea of what progressive overload is. Progressive overload is when we increase our reps, our weight, our intensity of a certain exercise in the gym. Now, similar to increasing our reps, our strength, our intensity in the gym on a progressive format, we need to follow this exact same format in our self-improvement practices. You need to understand that for a long time, you were living a lifestyle that you were not satisfied with. And I know that because that's why you're here. How could you expect yourself from never going to the gym to consistently right away going 6 times a week without falling off of routine? You just can't. And there's no shame in this, yet these motivational people will always just say, once you find out that you want to change your life, you have to boom, straight away work hard as much as possible, get on this hustle culture thing, make it unbearable. They are doing this to sell something to you because once the typical reality comes where you cannot actually bang out the gym 6 times a week when you've been never doing it in the first place, then they make you believe that there's something wrong with yourself and it's just a motivation thing. It's really a discipline thing. But in order to implement that discipline that you need to go to the gym 6 times a week, to start making money, to start reading often, you need to start progressively doing more of what you want to do. But you cannot take it from all the way down here, all the way up to here, just like that. You must ease yourself and slowly doing these habits and slowly getting better at them. So in order to not put too much onto yourself when you're first getting onto self-improvement, please just keep that progressive overload mindset throughout your mind 24/7. Now, the 4 habits you need to be doing on self-improvement are lifting, meditating, journaling, and then finally reading/doing a skill. Now, you may be asking yourself, oh, where's the NoFap? Where's the dopamine detox? And although these things like dopamine detox, monk mode are quite helpful, they're not in this list of 4 because you can't actually implement these things until you turn these 4 behaviors I've listed into habits. Think of these habits as the 4 building blocks of self-improvement. Without further ado, let's break down the habits. So for the first one, we have lifting. And this was the most obvious out of the list of 4 for sure. Main way to visibly see if someone is on self-improvement is just by judging by their physique. Are they quite big? Are they quite muscular? Are they quite jacked? When you look at a guy usually down the street and you see these muscular, he's big and jacked, you think, oh yeah, this guy's definitely on self-improvement. He definitely really cares about himself. And it's because he does. Now, as for the benefits of lifting, you can heal your physical insecurities. You can keep yourself healthy. You can improve your mental health. You can gain strength. You can attract other people to you. You can increase your testosterone. You can get better sleep. Now, these are just a few of many benefits of lifting weights. It's massive on self-improvement. It's exactly where you should be starting when you go on your self-improvement journey. As we mentioned, all of these habits need to be progressive overloaded. Not in the aspect of actual lifting, even though that is what you're supposed to be doing when you're lifting, but in the aspect of starting to get into the gym and increasing and maintaining the amount you go. Of all the habits, I would say applying the progressive overload principle is the most difficult for lifting. The mistake that most people make is they think that they're too big to start slow going to the gym, but they really aren't, and it shows. So what you need to do is implement a system where you're only working out a few days a week, let's say 3 times a week, and then overall you kind of build up after a few months into doing it 5, 6 times a week with just 1 to 2 rest days. If you are starting out with lifting, go in the description right now, and what I have there is I made a document, and in this document is the calendar I'm exactly about to talk about right now. What you're going to be doing is for the next month, you're going to be starting off with just going 3 times a week, hitting 1 body part. And in this calendar, you could put down the date, the body part, so on and so forth. Now go through a whole month of doing that, and your mind will be telling you, I can do more the first week, I'm really motivated. Don't listen to your mind, because this is exactly what these motivational speakers kind of do to you. They make you think that you're a lot bigger and better than starting slow at the gym, but you really are not, as I said. It happens to us all the time. It happened to me as well. All the time. We go to the gym for a full week and go 6 times every week, only 1 rest day. We see no progress and we think it's a bunch of bullcrap, so we give up. That's not how it works. You need to be going consistently, and if you want to be going consistently as a beginner, you need to start off with going just 3 times a week for just a month, and then the next month go 4 times a week, and then a month after that start to go 5 to 6 times a week, where you can then implement hitting multiple body parts in a week. This is exactly what the calendar is for. So the first month you see we have 3 times a week here, and then we go down to the next month we have 4 times a week, and then we go down to the next one, you get to choose either 5 times a week or 6 times a week. Now what I'm giving you here is 3 months to really build up that comfort of going to that gym 5 to 6 times a week. That's more than enough time. Whether you're working out from home or going to the gym, it's just so important that you just get a form of exercise in. Lifting will give you the confidence for building a physique that you love, great health, and the attention of others to improve your social life. Think about it, you literally get these benefits from lifting iron from 45 minutes to 2 hours a day, and yet people still want to miss out on exercising. Now, as I have mentioned, our progressive overload philosophy does come from the gym after all. So once we've progressively overloaded going to the gym 5 to 6 times a week on a consistent basis, then we apply the root of what progressive overload actually is in the gym. It'll be the time to increase weight, reps, intensity for your exercises every 2 weeks to a month. I say 2 weeks to a month because I want to make sure you don't get injured and you don't overdo it. That being said, one last time, you need to understand that lifting is crucial in order to be on self-improvement. Without lifting, you miss out on so much. If you're just starting out, click on the description below and find out that calendar that you can take a copy out of and just follow that for the next few months. And I promise you, you'll start going to the gym consistently. Alright, the next one is meditation. Now with meditation, you can get stress management / being more calm, improved creativity, increase of melatonin levels for better sleep, better self-awareness, and also improved concentration and focus. Now, meditation gets commonly deemed as something that's very stupid or something that's just not for me, and I can fully understand why. Now, with meditation, our goal is to be only focused on one thing, most commonly our breath, without shifting our focus elsewhere into other thoughts. With the likes of short-form content dominating our lives, predominantly TikTok, our attention spans are just completely fried. And this is why so many people look down on meditation. Like we said, the goal is to only be focused on one thing during the meditation process. How do you expect to do this when most of the content that you consume, honestly, without even your choice, is short form? You can't even sit down and watch a 5-minute YouTube video without going down, scrolling in the comments, whatever it may be. On TikTok, it's just quick. It's 6 seconds. You watch it, you go scroll to the next one. You do it for an hour, 2, and you just do it every single time. And that's just short form content. And every single video you scroll down, that's ruining your focus just by a little bit every single time. But in the long run of practicing meditation, you will get it. You will get that better focus. But in order to speed up the process of how effective you can use meditation, you definitely have to start lowering the amount of short form content you're watching and start rather watching the long form content on YouTube. See, TikTok even has this like new edition where I think you do like even up to 10-minute videos, which if you can watch those, that's like a YouTube video. Go ahead, just try to avoid watching that short-term content because it's going to fry your brain. Meditation is not something that should be looked down upon. If we reference back to our benefits, we could see that meditation actually improves our focus. Now, without good focus, you can barely be good at anything. When your focus improves, input and output of what you're trying to do also improves. So with this in mind, it is not crazy to say in order to get good at something, you must start meditating. Now going to a more serious point of it is stress management and staying more calm. Now since it is so difficult to meditate, we must take the process of learning it very slowly. Now from our progressive overload philosophy into meditation, I really highly recommend that you install this app called Medito. In there you can have very short-term meditation sessions that I think there's something that goes like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and that's exactly what you do. You build up with those smaller ones and you eventually pick up to those bigger ones. You must go through enough tens, even dozens of 1 to 5 minute sessions in order to be able to meditate for 10 minutes all the way up to an hour. Now once you have learned to meditate fairly well, you can continue using the Medito app, or you can be kind of free and just do it on your own now. What I do is 10 to 15 minutes every single day in an unguided way. Basically what I like to do is just kind of relax there, and as I inhale, I take a 3 count, right? So then when that 3 counts is done, then you exhale as long as you possibly can, right? So then you exhale however long it may take. Also, when you're holding it, before you get on to inhaling again, you do a 3-second count of holding it. So it's just basically a 3 count throughout the whole thing. So through the whole procedure right now, I can run you through it. And then I would inhale again. Now what will happen when you start your short meditations, even your long meditations? You will obviously drift away and start thinking about something else. Instead of your breath, it can be something like, when do I go to the gym? When do I start reading? Oh, I have to answer this text I just got, whatever it may be. This is actually a good thing in disguise. By going through a different thought unintentionally and then redirecting yourself back to your breath, you're actually just training your focus level to go up every single time. It's almost like a video game. You're leveling up, you're getting XP every single time you redirect your focus after losing it. So if you follow this method, in no time will you be able to start doing these high-level, long meditations. Don't get discouraged at the start. Just have an abundance of those 10 to dozens of 1 to 5 minute meditation sessions, and soon you'll be so good at it that you'll be able to go 10 minutes to even up to an hour. Remember, every time you drift away from an intended thought, such as your breath, it is a reason to be satisfied that you have an opportunity to finally strengthen your focus, rather than a reason to be angry and give up on meditation. Now for the third habit, we have journaling. Now with journaling, some of the benefits you can get are reduced stress, better confidence, preparation for the future, setting goals, tracking progress and growth, and also expressing gratitude. To me, journaling is one of the most underrated self-improvement practices. It's something that you can quickly do in your day-to-day life, but yet the results are just insane. It's just absurd to me how uncommonly this practice is spoken about. Without journaling, you have so many different stressful thoughts of all sizes, in terms of severity, wandering around your brain, and you just don't know what to do with it. But instead, what you can do is analyze all these problems, write them down on paper, find the solutions to them, and even analyze can you control this or not? Especially after learning about Stoicism, it really made me realize that a lot of the things that we worry about are outside of our control. And we need to identify what is and what is not in our control. And that the only thing that we control is how we respond to these problems that we can or cannot control. Now, all this analyzing and kind of just breaking down our thoughts comes at the end of my journaling regime. I usually like to call it analysis and thought breakdown, my free thought section. What my other sections is a success section, an excitement section, and a gratitude section. The success section really just kind of reminds me of what I've recently done pretty well, and to kind of just almost hype myself up. Yes, to be humble, and also to take criticism from the bad things you do, but also to realize there is a lot of good that you do. The excitement section is to kind of gas myself up for the future, to kind of remind myself what results I will be getting from following my self-improvement practices, what results I'll get from continuing to follow my divine purpose. The gratitude section is just writing down things that I am already grateful for, that I already have currently. Of course, the last one, as we already mentioned, is our free thought section. Now again, we want to follow the progressive overload procedure in this. In mine, I write 3 things that I'm succeeded in, 3 things that I'm excited for, 5 things of gratitude, and I usually just have a free thought there, right? What I want you to do from the start is just one thing that you recently succeeded in, or from the past, whatever it may be. One thing you're excited about for the future, and one thing that you're grateful for. And then whenever you feel comfortable, you can then start to progressively adding one more at a time. 2 things you succeeded in, 2 things you're excited for, 2 things you're grateful for, a larger free thought section, whatever it may be. Now, as for your free thought, even though this is a free section, you can write whatever you want, I at least recommend something that you kind of plan out for the day, and also just what you've been stressing about recently, kind of analyzing and breaking that down. But the rest is all of you. You can do whatever you want. Now, if you are a bit clueless as of what to write in your free thought section, besides what I already said, and planning and analyzing your stressful situations, I always like to include talking about my long-term plans, talking about my goals, and I also like to break down the day. Now, if you want to follow something similar to this, feel free. You can still be able to use this format while using your own thoughts. That really breaks it down for journaling. Consistently journal, and you will see yourself becoming a lot less stressed, more ambitious, and also more goal-oriented. Now, for our last habit, reading/working on a skill. Now, I put reading and working on a skill as one thing together because this is something that you could technically still do both of if you choose to. Now, if you don't want to do both, this is because you should be doing what your divine purpose is, and you know this skill you need to be improving in order to be releasing a good output into whatever you are producing. I like to think of reading as something you could do in the background while on self-improvement to find your purpose, and working on a skill something you already found is you could do for your purpose as a result of reading while on self-improvement. However, if you are going to be going down to working in a skill part, just make sure you're still staying on self-improvement. Sure, you don't have to read, but in order to get your work that you're going to be producing to be its best, you need the benefits of self-improvement on your side. You need that good focus from meditation. You need that good confidence from lifting. You know what I mean? Now, if you're going to be reading, the first 5 books I really recommend to you are 4-Hour Workweek, The Millionaire Fastlane, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Deep Work, and Atomic Habits. Now, as for the 4-Hour Workweek and The Millionaire Fastlane, these are more so business-minded books. These 2 are actually the first self-improvement books I read to kind of just help me out with business. With The Millionaire Fastlane, I kind of found out what business model I should follow, and with the 4-Hour Workweek, I kind of learned with what lifestyle I should be thriving for. The 4-Hour Workweek really opened me up to learning about outsourcing and kind of creating a system for myself to replace me essentially. Those 2 books I highly recommend. I read those first 2 books on my self-improvement journey. I don't regret it at all. Now, How to Win Friends and Influence People is a really good book for influencing people and also improving your social life. Particularly if you are doing sales, this is actually a very good book as well. I already have someone in my Discord server that said he implemented these principles from the 4-Hour Workweek and it's helped them in the sales massively. Now, the next book, Deep Work, it's actually a book I recommend you read no matter what route you're going down, the reading or the skill route are combined. Deep Work is a book about maximizing your productivity, also exposing the false form of work people are doing called shallow work. And you need to be learning about how to maximize your productivity, especially if you're going down the skill route. Now, Atomic Habits is about the importance of habits and also slowly building them up so you could eventually do them constantly, all the time, and also constantly improving the effectiveness you have using those habits. As you read that book, you'll realize this progressive overload philosophy I'm talking about is literally just a carbon copy of everything said in that book. So now that we broke down into the reading section, I'm going to go shortly into the skill section. As for the skill section, what you want to do is to start asking your boss to put you in programs that improve your work, or even getting a course on the type of workload you're doing. It may have been going crazy when I mentioned a course. Oh, courses are all scams. Come on, they're not professional what they're doing. Yes, okay, yeah, sure. A lot of those, especially stock courses, are scams. I get that. But if you're going to be taking a course, but if you're going to be buying a course from someone in a specific workforce in sales, in coding, whatever it may be, they're going to be giving you legitimate information. They have nothing to sell you out of. They just have to sell you the information that worked for them. You need to understand that that money you're spending, that $50 you're spending, that could be worth a few hours of your time. That could, let's say that stacks up into 4 hours you're using this course for. That is $200. That is $200 invested now that could turn into an endless amount of money in the future. It's literally like stocks. It's literally like your compound interest. You're getting this amount of money right now for it to be an endless amount in the future. It's also what we call your grand gesture. If you read the deep work, you understand this term. What the grand gesture is, you're going to be making essentially just you taking an action, like buying something, to force yourself to do that thing, to force yourself to take action towards it. If you want a good example of this, we can actually look at J.K. Rowling. She was writing the last Harry Potter book. She couldn't focus on writing it in her own space at home, so she got a nice hotel. It was like $1,000 a day, but she noticed that when she spent that money to fully focus on a nice area that she liked working, her work was way better. Input was better, so the output could be better. So what did she do? She started renting this place every single night. And yeah, maybe sure she put in a few $1,000s, but of course the return on investment, the Harry Potter book, right? It yielded way greater returns. But let's just say she decided just to buy that place and not work on her thing at all. Well, yeah, she got a nice place, but she's not getting anything in return. She's just thinking a nice place, but she's not producing good work out of it. Renting that place forces her to do work, because if she doesn't do work, she's guaranteed losing money. And that's exactly what you need to be doing as well. These courses, even with paying someone to clean your house while you do your effective work, it's just small stuff like this. I wanted to put this habit of reading/working on a skill last, because these things become fully effective and can convert into wealth at even more effective rate if you just implement the other habits I've given you in this video. Now for the afterword. Once you have consistently implemented these habits for a few months, for a few years, you'll be getting more confidence, better physique, better mental health, a better social life and relationships. Now, in order to get that, we need to use some tools so we can implement those habits. And for you, I created a habit tracker and a timetable. Now, of course, both of these two are in the description. Please access these right now, make a copy of them, because they are worth it. But what a habit tracker is essentially for a month, you kind of have it on the side, on the left, the days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 to 30. It's just representing a day of the month. And then on the top, you have your certain habits: lifting, meditating, journaling, reading or working on a skill, even additional stuff, a good diet, enough water for the day, whatever it may be. And then you have these boxes here, right? It's kind of connecting one to the habit, one to the other habit. Once you look at it, you fully understand what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, going down to the document, I highly recommend that you just print this out. So now in the box that you're going to see, what you do for that day is, if you got that habit done for the day, you put a green check mark next to it. If you didn't, you put a red X mark next to it. It doesn't have to be colored. It just has to be a check mark or an X mark. With this, you're going to be seeing how good am I doing with my habits? How up to date am I with them? Am I doing them consistently? Those red X's are going to be motivation for you to want to turn them into green checks. Those green checks are going to be motivation for you to want to make more green checks. So you can write down your own. That's what I do every month. But I highly recommend you go to the doc and you actually print it out. Don't kind of manually do it where you have to kind of go to the draw to tab or switch the boxes to check marks or X marks. Just print it out if you can. Write down the check mark or the X marks for the habits that you did or didn't do for that day, and go through with that. It'll be a visual representation of what you're doing. Now the next one in the description is the timetable. A timetable is literally just you setting up, framing the day, what you could be doing basically minute by minute in a day. Now this is not literally minute by minute in a day, because of course life's going to get in the way. Even tasks are going to take longer or shorter than you expect them to be. This is not the point. The point is we kind of want to have a fair say of what we're going to be doing with our time going forward every single day. That is also in the description. I even have an example timetable in that same document you can look and kind of reference to the one you're going to be making. Now, as I said, these are ways you can really keep up to date. Are you doing good with your habits, or are you not doing good with your habits? Now, I've already mentioned this book, but if you want more help with habit building outside of the techniques I've given in this video, please get Atomic Habits and read that. It really is not a bad idea for this to be your first self-improvement book. Mine was The Millionaire Fast Lane 4-Hour Workweek. Atomic Habits would have been great from the start. And that really is it. Once you've made these habits stick and they're now a normal part of your day, you can start goal setting it, which I have in this video in the description as well. Now, another thing that sucks with improving ourselves in today's society is that it's generally frowned upon, right? Improving yourself is a frowned upon thing. It's just a much more normalized thing to be careless about yourself, not really care about what you're going to be like going forward. And that sucks because you need to be surrounded by like-minded people on self-improvement, right? You see people like Andrew Tate always talking about a big network. It's difficult to find people that are like-minded to you. And this could be a huge liability to you. This is why I've created a Discord server with over 100 people already that are on self-improvement. These people are going to be like-minded to you. It's going to be like your own network. That link is in the description. You'll be invited to that Discord server. You can meet a bunch of like-minded people, as I said. We have a bunch of cool tabs like sharing our goals. We just have a general chat. We can show our fitness and our progress in the gym. It's great. But if you can find these type of people in real life, please, by all means, become friends with them and really make these people the predominant people you spend the most time with. Okay, that's it for the whole video. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you can implement these techniques, try to do these habits using the habit tracker and the timetable to finally get yourself on self-improvement and finally start making a big change in your life. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.